What do you think I have yet to learn about myself?
Your value
It
to
looked
the
like it
world.
looked like you froze. My value to the world.
Yeah, that you haven't yet been able to wrap your head around
So, okay, you know what I think part of
for
this
whatever
is?
reason. Everyone has their own reasons to it, but
I mean, even so, I'm realizing this as we're kind of talking. I think early on in my career, I always had someone right next to me that was the biggest fucking cheerleader in the world that believed in me more than I believed, right? So, like, early on, we made a channel together. We haven't talked in fucking forever. We had a falling out by like Tony Valenzuela, right? He made Black Box TV. One of my closest friends at the time, like believed in me more than fucking anything. Was like voice of a generation, blah 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 blah. Like, and I'm never someone that kind of like believes in those things, but I think there's probably something inherently like just connected to that where it's like, oh yeah, I do have that. And then like the next person I had, was like that and was a little like that with me, but it would really come out in like meetings, right? So when we were meeting with someone else, all of a sudden it was like, I'm not constantly blowing smoke up Phil's ass, but here's a moment that we just say like, this is what we've done. And so I've always had that next to me. I don't really have that now, right? I feel very
what
alone in what we're
you're
doing.
talking about aging.
What do you mean?
So when we're younger, we have cheerleaders, parents, people who are
Mm,
surprised that we're doing well at work. And through early stages in our life, it starts dwindling to the point where you're never going to see a 50-year-old get an applause for going to work on time or for taking care of their kids.
yeah,
It's only if you don't do those things do you hear any kind of critique. So that transition that you're going through of sort of maturing in life and seeing that there aren't going to be cheerleaders for you at every stage
sure.
is really difficult to sort of wrap your head around and understand that you have to become your own cheerleader.
Yeah, that's not going to happen with me, but I'll try. Just,
It's
just for
gonna,
you, Mike.
you can't block it. Just say like at some point it'll happen.
It will happen. I'm going to put it on my vision board for you, Mike.
That's the card. You just asked me the question. What have you not realized about yourself? And that's your value. I said this to you when I was in your studio. You were saying like, "Oh man, I'm getting really frustrated with doing the daily show." And I was like, "Dude, you don't understand how much value you bring. Like I'm on YouTube because of you, dude. Like it's not me bringing medical misinformation to the forefront. It's Phil DeFranco that brought Dr. Mike to YouTube. I showed This is funny. I wish I could share my screen with you. Right below your video, I have my desktop, and I have right below you, two icons below, first attempt at YouTube. It's right
Oh, is
here.
this the video that you showed me?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's because of you, Phil. Like, do you understand that how much value that brings?
No.
Just think
Like
about that.
so Mike, I don't say this to be like a fucking asshole or anything. I understand the concept. Like hearing you say it, and I'm sure that I know that it will resonate with the people hearing you more. I don't like, and this is why I think part of like I'm inherently broken. I don't feel anything when you say that. So it's just like, cause I'm just in my head, I'm like, I get very analytical. I'm like, well,
Well,
that's always
what do you think to yourself in your head when you hear it?
that it's just the cyclical nature of what we do. Like I know that I have a much greater appreciation for the likes of Zay Frank and Ask a Ninja and the people that were there before me that popularized the stuff that made me go into it. But for them, they've also, I mean, I can't speak to like Ask a Ninja, but for Zay Frank, he's probably heard that so many times that
Yeah.
dopamine hit that would naturally happen doesn't happen. And I think that's where it's just you do something for such a long time. Like I know that immediately when I meet someone in public, I know how the conversation is going to go. It's going to go like one of 10 ways. And I know what my natural thing is. I feel, and so I think in that way, I feel a little bit like a robot. But I need also understand that I need moments like this, and I need those moments to make me not a robot. To like, to put, fuck, what is it? What was that? What was that old movie where it was like everything was black and white, and as they felt feelings for the first time, the world was starting to fill with color. Fuck. I don't
Oh
remember.
man, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm a
But
movie buff too.
so I don't know. So I think I'm hyper aware of myself, but then like the feelings that are associated with it, there's just a disconnect for me, and I really hate that. I hate
you're
that.
discounting your contribution to our society.
Yeah, but I'm a,
I mean, that's like Michael Jordan saying, "Oh, Kobe Bryant told me that he looks up to me but it means nothing to me. What would you say if Michael Jordan said that?
Well, if he said that unprompted, I'd be like, that's kind of a fucking dick thing.
Someone says, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant said he really looked up to you before he passed, and you really have motivated him. How does that make you feel? And if he's like, oh, I just kind of get it. What would you say to Jordan?
Well, I would say the same thing. Like, what I'm doing right now is being really, really honest about it and not thinking, and I'm trying to be more of that mindset of just saying how I feel and not knowing how it is going to be perceived. Because it's very easy to go through that. Because like me saying it, I know that there's going to be, if it's just clipped, an inherently negative reaction to that. But if I don't share that now, and this is once again things that I've realized over the past 2 weeks, then I feel very alone with that feeling, and I feel fake. And so, yeah, because
the fact that you're saying it is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
The issue isn't that you're saying it and I'm like, oh, Phil is an asshole for not taking my compliment. I'm saying that I would love for you to get to a place where that compliment actually makes you feel the thing that most people would think you would feel.
Sure. I don't know. But everything that we deal with is not natural, right? It's not, it is historically
There's no
always
mathematical formula for how we're supposed to feel.
Yeah. Like it's not a thing that a normal thing that people do where it's like, I've gone out on stage in front of 1,000 to 2,000 people. That is not inherently a normal human experience. It's an experience that many have had, right? Entertainers, people with more power, leaders, stuff like that. But it's also in a really weird place where on an individual level, you can see what those people say constantly, whether it be praise or negative shit that's inherent, like always. And so what I think is it's more of just, it's been happening for such a long time, and each individual experience on their own, especially initially, is so impactful. I've like OD'd on the internet. Like I need bigger and bigger stuff to feel. And when I don't have it, that's also where you can get into the dark, like the really, really dark times. And the only way that you kind of keep the dark stuff away is by actively working through it, right? And actively trying to do things. And so I try, but I think that's, if there's like a point that I could kind of hit on, and I feel like I'm stealing that from Casey Neistat, where he said he overdosed on the internet. But yeah, it's a very true thing.
Agreed.